really punish and deal a lot of damage, especially at slow speed. You can wipe the whole board very easily, especially if you have some effects going for your team. Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. If you're curious about any other hero in Empires and Puzzles, you can view my website at anchorgame.com. There you will find I have graded every single hero with a calibrated team of graders. This resource will always be free. Thinking about supporting the hero grades and the breakdown videos? You're welcome to donate. Otherwise, feel free to share this resource with a friend. I have my exclusive line group called Anchor Cove, where you gain access to myself and tons of other experienced players with on-demand information and resources. If that piques your interest, all that information is on the opening page of my website with a short video. Let me dive into today's hero breakdown. Hey, thanks so much for checking out the channel. Today we're going to be doing a brand new hero breakdown on Snow White. She took some time off from hanging out with the 7 dwarfs to come and give you this hero breakdown with me. She has 756 on her attack, 747 on her defense, and 1299 on her health. She is part of the Fables of Grim Forest event, and she is dashing in at slow speed. She does give you the bonus between 2, 3, 4, 5 heroes, anywhere between 3% and 15% attack, and anywhere between 5% and 20% defense. She dispels all buffs and status ailments from all allies and enemies, and then deals 180 damage to all enemies and an additional 15% damage per removed status effect, up to 420 damage in total. So a little bit of confusion when it comes to her as far as whether this hero is good or bad. We actually debated this quite a bit in the grading of her, because there was a lot of people that were advocating very good, and that some were cautioning that there's a lot of stipulations to how this hero works and how she's ran. So let me kind of break it down and kind of give you how this works. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. It is a free massive turn-based dark fantasy RPG. To try this game out, all you gotta do, go to the video description, click on the special links. You'll receive 50 gems, 1 energy refill, 100,000 silver, and 1 free champion, Adjudicator. All your treasures waiting for you right over here. So when she's dispelling all buffs and status ailments, it is important to note that it does remove anything positive that you have on your allies. So that automatically can cause a little bit of an issue. And then she's also removing all the buffs from all the enemies too. So that's kind of cool. Obviously it's cleansing out everything. But what's important to note is that it's going to deal 180 damage after all of the effects. So you're essentially removing all of the defensive down, anything that could be positive in your favor, before dealing the damage. It does go up to 420% damage in total. So this hero can really punish and deal a lot of damage, especially at slow speed. You can wipe the whole board very easily, especially if you have some effects going for your team and you're pretty much just going to one-shot their whole team. I will say that this game has now progressively turned to be status ailment kind of dependent, to where your buffs or their buffs are kind of the determining factor. So I do see that Snow White could play a vital role in assisting and all that. The only issue again is that she's a blue, so she definitely has taken a back seat just given the nature of her color, and that does kind of go against her. So when we look at what she does against Titans, she does currently get a C grade, mostly because you're not really worried about the buffs and status ailments and all that kind of stuff. What I will say though is that she works really well against the Titans that will reflect the damage back, which a lot of times people were using either like Sonya or Cage Burrito to go ahead and do that. But she will do that and help out to where you don't suicide your old team. So that is a positive. However, I do hate her on Titans. The reason being is that she is effectively going against everything that you want to do on Titans, which is to have buffs and status ailments against the Titan. So I don't recommend really using her at all. Maybe if you're in major desperation and you don't want to have everything reflect back to you, but I still wouldn't really consider using her. So that's why she does get a C grade on the Titans, because she goes against every single thing that you want to be doing to be getting high Titan scores. So don't do that. On offense, she does get a B+ grade. She is running at slow speed, so that does factor into things. but I do see that it is very easy to build a team that complements her abilities to where you're not really concerned about the effects that your other heroes do, and you can essentially just go ahead and reflect all of that damage back to the enemies. I see this pairing well with a team that is very defensive driven to where they are gaining a lot of life, potentially staying alive. So a hero like Razul might help out, especially running at very fast speed. You can take that and reflect it back after you're not really worried about that. So I do see that she could be paired well, and you could disrupt a lot of defenses, but I do say that it does require a lot of planning to do that. So she does get a B+ grade on offense. That might flex up higher just because it is really devastating if you are able to plan it and you can be smart and use her to her advantages. When she's running at tank on defense, I'm not really stoked on her. She does get a B grade there, mostly because when you look at her defensive stats, they're okay, her defense, but her life total is pretty low. I'm not really hedging on her being a defensive hero, especially as a tank, mostly because the whole point of her is that you want to be building up your team to have a lot of buffs and their team to have a lot of buffs, so it requires a lot more time and energy, and you can easily just go ahead and get around her specials. So she does get a B grade there. Same thing there for the flank grade. She does get a B grade, again mostly because she's running at slow speed and she's very contingent on a lot of other things to go against you. Could you potentially be tricking your opponent into not really accounting for what she does? I could see that happening, but as far as a long-term defensive hero, I wouldn't really recommend her at all. And then that goes for the wing grade there. She does get a C grade on the wing, mostly because by the time that she's being hit and activated, potentially all your other heroes are dead by that point, so you're not really going to get the effect of being able to redistribute all the damage from the buffs and ailments that are against you to send them back. Could you get caught by it? Yes, but I don't really see it being too much of a factor. So she does get an overall grade of a B on defense. I could see this potentially get flexed up, mostly dealing with the fact that her hero special, when it does go off, it does deal a lot of damage, especially if other conditions have been met. But I still think that there's a little bit too much randomness to account for and factor in. So I would need to see some adjustments on her flank or wing grade, potentially for her to get flexed up to a B+, but you could maybe use her. On the weekly raid grade, she does get an A grade on rush attack because that is absolutely devastating. I do love that she just pretty much turns the whole thing around and just deals all the damage, keeps everything cleansed. Plus running at very fast speed, it's definitely a factor for sure. So I do love her on her weekly grade. She does also get an A grade on buff attack, obviously because she's just removing all buffs that happen, and then she's making it so that it deals damage for that, so she does get an A grade there. And again, I really do like her on Bloody Battle, so she does get an A grade on Bloody Battle, mostly because she's making it so all of the buffs are removed and she's still hitting for a ton of damage, so she could potentially kill you and definitely be the final shot on your team. So I think that she shines definitely the most on the weekly grades, so there is that factor there, mostly because if they're running at very fast speed or they are impacting what the board actually does. So I do really like her on weekly grade, but overall she does get a B. This could definitely be a B+ grade, but I think that there's too much contingencies based on what she does to really justify a higher grade than that. Overall, it's one of those heroes that you might be like, hey Anchor, I really love this hero because of X. So I see that people either really love her or they're not too thrilled about her, but it's one of those heroes that you have to be smart, you have to play with. But at face value, I'm not really too stoked on her, so she does get a B grade there. So thank you so much for checking out this channel, watching this video. Make sure you watch some more of these and click that little like button. If you could, you watch this, you're all the way through, you might as well just click the like button. I do appreciate that. That does help with the algorithm. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. So check me out. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next hero breakdown. Too much of a factor, but she does still get a B+ grade on defense, mostly because why? What the hell?